Welcome back to another Machining Minutes video. I'm Ben, and in the last video, we machined this part right here. Now this is a Datron window holder made out of aluminum with the help of Toolpath, and it's going to display our window right here that got sticker bombed at IMTS. We're gonna wrap up this part by machining Op2 and some soft jaws with the help of Toolpath. Stick around and you might just learn something. All right, let's check to see if we have any soft jaws. So I kind of cheated with this part, and these soft jaws are already made, and I'll show you why. A while back, actually for IMTS, we made these keychains, and hopefully you guys got some. They're pretty slick, but I actually designed this part the exact same size so then I can just pop it right here in the soft jaws, which I think is totally fine. But for this video, I'm really curious to see how well Toolpath programs these soft jaws as well and see how fast we can get them up on the machine. Stick around and we're gonna figure that out. For now, I'm just gonna get these soft jaws set up on our vise. If you guys haven't seen these, they have a dovetail on them, and then this is the vise that accepts soft jaws. There's a spring-loaded plunger here with a dovetail kind of feature in it. So when I pop it in place, now I do have to use something back there, so let me grab that. This tool right here, and then we push in back here, clicks right in place like that. You just push right here and you can see there's a good bit of force on that spring. So we're gonna get this guy set up. Sweet, there we go. I need to add some clearance for these little spikes. Those spikes go straight into the drywall, or at least that's the intention. They're nice and pokey. So anyway, I need to add some clearance so that it's not rocking back and forth. This should be good. Because I was the one that designed this part, it's pretty simple, and I kind of designed it based on the tools that were already in my machine, so I don't need to worry about loading any more tools. Let's hop in Toolpath and then export to Fusion, kind of see the whole workflow there, and see how Toolpath handles this part for Op2 and then the soft jaws. We're in Fusion, and now let's take a look at this soft jaw. So I've added my part to our vise. I have the vise modeled up here, and one thing to note is I've just added this body that's the same size as our soft jaw. I used to model our soft jaw with a gap here, but it kind of created some weirdness when I was trying to select geometry. So if I hide our part, you can see I've added this little pocket, added a little bit of extra clearance for those spikes, and it's all one solid piece. So that actually makes it a lot easier when we're programming. I always add a 1/4 inch spacer, so of course in real life there is a space there so we can clamp down on our part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this part to Toolpath, and I want to show you in manufacturing. So here I have my soft jaw set up. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick. For the model, I'm just selecting this body, and then the stock, I do relative with no additional stock. All right, so let's click OK. I'm going to use send part to Toolpath. I'm going to remove setup 1 and setup 2, so it's only looking at our soft jaw. Now when we click OK, this part is going directly to Toolpath. You can see Toolpath is opening up. It's going to use our Aluminum Brothers Speedio cut config, and a cut config is just kind of a fancy term for our tool library that we're letting Toolpath use. So while that loads, we're going to see initially that we don't get a great score, and that's because we told Toolpath to only look at this part from this setup. So if I click on show machining directions, and of course the banana so you guys can see how big this part is, we've got all this blue that we're gonna machine, and of course nothing else is being machined, so we get a 64%. That's totally fine. You know, we don't have any additional setups, and I can see what's happening here. If I go to tools, we're using our 1/2 inch finishing tool and then an 1/8 inch finisher to get down inside those bores. So let's just send this straight to Fusion and see how it does. So I'm going to click back into Fusion. Now we're going to import our program. I'm pasting my key here, but in a week or so, you'll never have to paste a key. So I'm going to import to current document. This is a preview feature, but check out how cool this is. So because we've sent our setup already to Toolpath, when I click OK, this is going to auto-populate our current soft jaw setup instead of opening up a new instance, which is just a phenomenal improvement. So let's just take a quick look at these toolpaths. Some of them we're gonna have to delete, that's fine. This facing is fine. Normally I wouldn't face my soft jaws unless I have a part resting on them. Then we use that same tool to rough out that pocket. That looks great. We are doing a profile here, so I would just tell Fusion that either we're gonna suppress it or delete it altogether. So I'll do that later. And then we do some rest machining with this 1/8" end mill, come down and do those bores, finish the face with our same end mill, and then we finish the bore walls. So that looks great. You know, it saved me a lot of time. It's a very simple pocket. You know, probably wouldn't take too long to program, but also Toolpath just did this in a few seconds. Now I already have this pocket machine like I showed you guys, so I'm going to actually suppress quite a few of these operations and just use these bores, but I wanted to show you guys the whole process. So let's jump back over to the machine, get the soft jaws cut, and then our part placed in there, and then we'll work on getting set up to programmed with Toolpath. Perfect fit. Part seems to fit in there pretty well. I got a couple taps on it, seat it down, and let's jump back to program op 2. All right, so we'll hop back into Fusion, and you can see I have setup 1 and setup 2 basically set up here. Now I'm using my 0 point like I mentioned. So this is all defined, but I don't have any toolpaths. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell Toolpath to program this part. So if I go to existing setups, we're gonna eliminate the soft jaw, click OK, and now this is gonna send to Toolpath. So let's take a look at those setups first. Of course, I like to turn on show machining directions. Of course, we gotta throw the banana in there. That's just fun. And something that you guys might not have seen yet is we have section view. And for this part, we don't really need section view. But for maybe a more complex feature, you would like to see kind of the inside of it, so you can toggle that on and off. You can flip the directions and everything like that. We can see our tools here. I'm gonna quickly press export to Fusion, jump back into Fusion, click this import program, paste my key, which I shouldn't have to do much longer, and import to current document. And importing to current document, okay, we can see these setups have populated and looks like they're pretty good. I'm gonna take a look at this setup 2, which is our, in our soft jaws. All right, so it looks like we're using an adaptive, kind of remove the bulk of the material like that top hat. I like to use like a 3D adaptive where it kind of circles the part and is maybe a little less aggressive, but then we're using that same tool to finish the face. That's totally fine. Then we've got the 1/4 inch coming in to open up that bore. And then we just have these chamfers. So overall, really good. It's a very simple op 2, but Toolpath did a good job with it, and we're ready to post this and send it to the machine. Here's our finished part. Let's take a look at it over here. That's our second op. Soft jaws worked out excellent. We got our spikes in there, had clearance for them. Overall, very pleased with that. I'm gonna make 3 more of these, and we're gonna get the window hung up and call this project complete. Well, welcome to our conference room. This is the wall we're gonna hang the window on. That way everybody can kind of see it in its glory. If you have any stickers, send them our way, because this thing is not all the way filled up yet. We wanna really sticker bomb this thing. So I'm thinking I'm gonna put it up like right about here, something like that. Well, that concludes this video. We got it all hung. I think these are gonna hold up pretty well. Thanks for watching. This was a really fun project. It was fun to make something that was actually useful, not just a bottle opener. Let me know if you guys like these machining minute videos. I'm always trying to find new tips and tricks to show you guys, and just kind of the workflow that we use here at Toolpath to make parts. If you want to sign up for Toolpath, we've got a 14-day free trial. You can test the CAM automation, the estimating, everything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.